Hookless tires. Hookless tires. You guys know I love to talk about my hookless tire drama. And in today's video, we have here some very juicy stuff. Continental tires that everyone loves, knows and loves, and uses today on hookless wheels. We have a brand new company coming out saying that it's unsafe to use with their tires or wheels that they just launched. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about this drama right here. We're going to be showing you everyone else's tire compatibility chart and also what I think of hookless tire compatibilities going forward in the future. You guys already know how I feel about it, and I know I'm sure I'm going to have tons of people. I've been running Continental tires for years on my hookless wheels. No issues. It's not about everyone having issues. It's about just enough right amount of people having issues with it that it can go bad. Just like the Shimano recall and crank. I.e. insert example, Shimano recall. Not everyone's Shimano cranks failed, but a good amount of them did. And it caused some injury and some damages. And this is a pretty serious topic. I don't see the benefit to having a hookless wheel for consumers. It really does just go back into the manufacturer's pocket. I think that you can achieve whatever tire pressure you want with a hooked rim. I think you can achieve whatever kind of tire configuration you want with a hooked rim. And it's much safer to have with that on there. There's no point to be making a stupid lightweight tire that's 200 grams for all these weight weenies out there and then have to meet the normals of a hookless tire to benefit the manufacturer so they can make a cheaper rim and it's easier to make a carbon mold that's just straight up instead of having a crimp to it. I don't see the benefit to it at all. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But this video was brought to you guys by a really good friend of mine by the guy named of Jason Latorre, longtime YouTube subscriber, which turned into a pretty good relationship with me and him. A huge data nerd, and he rides hookless wheels himself, so he's full on invested into this, and he knows how much I care about it, and he asked me my opinion on it as well. He's had a bunch of failed hookless issues with Zip 353, and he's had 2 rims replaced already, and another one as well. So we'll be talking about that situation as well. But right here, Scott Synchros wheels right here. Synchros is going to be Scott's sister company that makes basically all their components. Like Specialized has Revolve, Trek has Bontrager. Synchros is to Scott like that. They just released these brand new wheels, which look absolutely phenomenal, by the way. A beautiful wheel set. Synchros Capital SL Aero 60mm front wheel. Then you have 60 Capital SL Aero 60mm rear wheel. A hefty price tag. They are stupid lightweight, and they look really badass. But the rear wheel alone is $2,500. You guys heard it first? The front wheel is $2,100, making it $4,600 for a pair of wheel sets. It is a one-piece carbon fiber wheel, just like their mountain bike wheel. I'm sure extremely stiff. It's an amazing looking wheel, and a lot of people wanted it until they found out it was a hookless wheel. Kaputs. Now, why does this matter? They actually have a really wide internal rim width on here, and it's kind of weird they have 2 different inner rim widths. For the rear wheel, it is 25mm inner rim width. That is a very wide inner rim width. I think only a Zip 353 has that. And for their front wheel, it is a 23mm inner width. That's along the lines of Zip 454. That's a very wide inner rim width. To give you guys an example, Princeton Carbon Works 656 is 21. Revolve is 21. Other big name companies are also 21. 23 and 25 are pretty huge. To give you guys an example as well, mountain bike rims are about 30. So we're almost getting there. So again, why does this matter? So they came out with their tire compatibility chart for these wheel sets. Okay, let's look at it. Tire compatibility chart for this. You have not compatible with a red dot, compatible, combination tested by Scott Synchros, green dot. Yellow is compatible based on ETRTO. So they're basically saying it's compatible because ETRTO said so. And who is ETRTO? They basically they're the organization that basically refers to what is safe for consumers to use on vehicles, bicycles, and what is safe to the consumer public, and holds these businesses to a standard in terms of releasing product. But basically, early on this year, ETRTO came out and said that specifically the smallest tire recommended for use on a 25mm internal rim width is 29mm. So a lot of people that had these 28mm tires kind of got pissed off about it. But let's jump back to this gauge. So we look right into here. We jump right in. 25 millimeter hookless rims, 23 millimeter hookless rims. We have it right up here. Red dot being that's not compatible. 25s, that's normal. Usually, no real hookless wheels are using a 25C tire compatible. It's usually always 28 and above. Schwabe looks like it goes ahead and goes to the test. But let's go into the interesting categories, okay? Vittoria as well. 28s and above. Looks to be clear cut all the way through. Very good. Here's where it gets iffy. Continental tires. GP 5000 STRs. One of the most popular tires I sell in my store. One of the most popular tires, I think, chosen by consumers. A very fast tire, reliable tire. Great tire. 700 by 28C tires on the Capital SL Aero rear wheel, not compatible with this. For their front wheel, it is compatible. Basically, they're pushing all their consumers to a 30C tire. Go down to the ASTR, not compatible. Their TTTR, not compatible. The only one is on the front wheel for 23 millimeter. Okay? Which is pretty crazy when the 28s in the Schwabe work and the 28s in the Vittoria work. But for some reason, they're deeming the Continental 28s not compatible, which is really weird. Go down to Pirelli. Pirelli's known for, and this is, I think the whole industry knows this. I think customers would know this too. Pirelli's known for a tire that has a great tire in terms of rolling resistance. It's a fast tire, it's really good speed, a little bit on the heavier side, I would say, for the race TLR. But they're known to be a little bit easy put on rims, and some companies have said that they've blown off or rolled off for hookless wheels. But their whole pretty much tires are red across the board. Red across the board, deeming not compatible. And then you get into the yellow, basically saying that the Scott didn't really deem it that it tested really well and that it's only safe by ETRO. Same with Michelin. They have pretty good reasons for the 30s, but the 28's not really. 28's not really. But why does this matter? Because people, you might say, Grant, this is a 25 millimeter hookless rim. That's a really wide. Okay, we understand that. That doesn't make sense. But if you go over to Zip, right here, Continental tires. The brand new Zip 353 NSW runs a 25 millimeter hookless rim. They're saying that this works. Their Grand Prix 5700 by 28C. Their 23 millimeter hookless rim 454. They're saying this works in here as well. Pretty crazy to me to see one company say that it works on the hookless rims and one company say it doesn't work on the hookless rims for that. Same with tire compatibility right here. For Envy. Envy is a little bit smaller. I believe it's a 21 millimeter internal rim width or 23 millimeter. Go on down here. Continental 5000 GP STR 28 millimeter, which works on here as well. So you have two other companies, 23 millimeter and 25 millimeter internal rim widths, saying that it does work. And then you have Scott Synchros that just released this for their brand new hookless rim, basically coming out and saying that it doesn't work on there. Now, the only reason why I bring this topic up is because we've seen blowouts over the year. I've showed videos where I showed people having blowouts over the year. This gentleman in particular, Mr. Jason, this is his bike, his Zip 353. He basically said he put out on this brand new STR 700 by 28C, a compatible tire, pumped up to 70 PSI, went to go look for his bike bag. He came back, tire blew out. I've seen a lot of Continentals blow off here. I also had a friend of mine that had 303S's on 60 PSI riding on a Diverge, came to a stop, blowout. I don't know if this is just more or less of companies playing it safe with this wide internal rim width, or if there's a bigger issue at hand with the Continental 5000 STR. So this is basically what Mr. Lattori said with this conversation. This is what he sent me a message on. I'll read this over here. He said, the first one that blew off, brand new 28 millimeter STR, brand new NSW on Rodin, was pumped up to 73 only to get settled. I was going to bring it back down to 70 PSI for my ride. Second blow off, brand new TTTR happened 70 PSI riding uphill on a 72 degrees morning ride, 70 degrees. Max for the day, popped the bead back on Continental 65 PSI for about another 40 miles. Replaced rim wouldn't seal brand new Corsa Pro because of manufacturing defect. I'm currently on the replacement for that, so we're good for that. So he had about 2 or 3 hookless wheels have those issues with it. So it's not just the rim itself, not one issue. He's had about 2 or 3 rims on there as well. So you guys might be asking yourself, why does this matter? A couple blowouts here and there. Why does this matter? This is crazy for the cycling industry to have the hookless tires out for as long as they have, or hookless wheels to be out for as long as they have, and have this kind of many misfires in terms of tire compatibilities, wider tires, different internal widths, tire blowoffs, different normal size regulations for a tire width on there as well. It's a lot of stuff for the consumer to keep up with, and for already a sport that everyone's demanding for these manufacturers to be held accountable for. I mean, it's not like you're walking down the street. You're sending it down a hill at 60 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. And you have to trust that manufacturer is making the tolerances tight enough on a tire to pair with that hookless wheel. People always make the argument, hookless wheels are in cars, hookless wheels are in airplanes. But again, when they're making these tires that are for these designated vehicles or whatever it is, literally the rim is constructed out of a massive machined alloy or whatever the hell it is. You have to mount that tire on with a machine to get on there. The tires stand alone by themselves with massive wire beads that are literally that's super strong. We're not making weight weenie tires that are foldable in our hands and want to be 200 grams. And then when you mount them, you only have a wire bead this big to fit on a hookless wheel that's this small in channel. It's crazy. and even for that to have a 700 by 28C tire that's dominated the industry, I want to say for the past 3 years, GP 5000 is still recognized as one of the most popular tires out there. You're starting a ride, and let's just say you get these wheels, whatever, or if more companies follow this suit, I see it time and time again. I see people coming on giant bikes with KDX wheels with tire pressure pumped up to 100 psi, tubes being ran, incompatible tires. Gentlemen buying Zip 303s and putting on tubeless and a non-TLR tire. Like so many variables go wrong for consumers to not be able to keep up with it. And people might say, oh, that's a bike shop's job to help inform them. Well, sometimes a lot of these people are buying this stuff consumer direct and they're using YouTube to install it. I know that people say, well, consumers have to take some kind of responsibility, but if they're changing tire compatibility all the time and not making us aware, I think that if it's a hookless wheel, whenever they get it, they should have like a piece of yellow tape around the rim in some kind of packaging saying check tire compatibility before installing. Or if you're buying a bike new off the shelf, it should be wrapped around the rotor or something like that, just to be bright, to bring attention to it and say, make sure you only use these tire compatibles and hookless for this kind of situation, because too many times I see people riding, they're riding it and it's holding up for that meantime, but it only takes one pothole, one turn, one day, just that tire fails. So it's a very scary situation to be put and left into the consumer's hand. I was very excited about these wheels. I thought these wheels were absolutely gorgeous. I'm like, that's a badass looking wheel. And I'm sure people are going to be running. I'm sure they're going to be fast as hell on it. And I'm sure, I mean, Brian Safa, literally the video he put out, he's dominating on here. I mean, he makes me look like I want to ride that. He's throwing that bike around. He's having no issue with hookless. Pogacar's riding on MV wheels that are hookless and descending down mountains. I'm sure in those cases that they're working really well. But just you could have easily made that wheel with a bead or a lip on there and gave it so much more confidence to consumers. I hear time and time again people getting a new pair of hookless wheels. They go, oh, I just go to stand up, I just don't feel the confidence on there. I get it. I mean, we're supposed to trust in it, but even when I rode my first pair of Zip 404 hookless wheels, I was like, it just feels like a little bit, feels weird, but it is what it is. That's my rant for today. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think this is weird? Have you guys had bad instances where you had 700 by 28C Grand Prix 5000 STRs blow off? Do you think I should get blown off? Damn it. Let me know down in the comment section below. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I don't even know what the hell I'm saying.